So, some news from 1984. First, the Surgeon General said that they're going to start putting, Surgeon General warnings. You see them on boxes of cigarettes. Usually, it's associated with things that you eat and things that could cause physical harm to you. But now they're going to start putting Surgeon General warnings on speech. So staying on this theme of speech causing physical harm or some sort of harm, speech being violent, that's the plan now. And here is the Surgeon General explaining.
Today, I issued a Surgeon General's advisory on the dangers of health misinformation. Surgeon General advisories are reserved for urgent public health threats. And while those threats have often been related to what we eat, drink, and smoke, today we live in a world where misinformation poses an imminent and insidious threat to our nation's health. Health misinformation is false, inaccurate, or misleading information about health, according to the best evidence at the time. And while it often appears innocuous on social media apps, on retail sites, or search engines, the truth is that misinformation takes away our freedom to make informed decisions about our health and the health of our loved ones. During the COVID-19 pandemic, health misinformation has led people to resist wearing masks in high-risk settings. It's led them to turn down proven treatments and to choose not to get vaccinated. This has led to avoidable illnesses and death. Simply put, health information has cost us lives.
Misinformation takes away our freedom. If that's not an Orwellian statement, I mean, that is, I'd have to read the book again. It sounds like something that would actually be in the book itself. So misinformation takes away our freedom. In other words, a statement that you don't like takes away your freedom. So that's free speech. Free speech takes away our freedom. Free speech undermines our freedom, is what's being claimed here. I thought it was really fascinating that he specifically mentions, this is the Surgeon General saying that, misinformation about masks made people reluctant to wear masks. Okay, well, yeah, do you know who at the beginning of the pandemic was telling people not to wear masks? The Surgeon General sent out a tweet. The Surgeon General's office, not the same guy, but the Surgeon General's office sent out a tweet back in March of last year saying, stop wearing masks, in all caps. Public health officials, Dr. Fauci said, don't wear a mask. Now they say, wear the mask. But the point is, and I think they were right the first time, by the way, but the point is that when, on this basis here, when the Surgeon General had said a year ago, don't wear the mask, if you said, no, I think you should wear a mask, that would have been tagged as misinformation. And now they say, wear the mask, and you say, no, you know what, I think you were right the first time. Now that's misinformation. Opposing views, both are misinformation, because what is misinformation? It's not, we don't label things, or they're not labeling things misinformation based on its relation to truth. It's misinformation based on its relation to the claims that they are making. And that is the very obvious problem with the government's campaign against misinformation. It's the problem with labeling misinformation some sort of public health threat. Many problems with it. Once again, equating speech with violence, which is a direct attack on the very concept of free speech. But the other issue is that what do they consider misinformation? They have made themselves the scientific authority. And to trust the science is to trust them. Conflating the two, it's exactly the same. If you don't trust them, then you don't trust the science. Yeah, and the thing about vaccines, sure, there can be misinformation, claims that are made about vaccines on either side of the debate that are simply wrong. Sure, that exists. But much of what is labeled vaccine misinformation is really a matter of priority, right? It's someone expressing their priority, the risk level that they're comfortable with. Many of the people who have not gotten the vaccine, it's because if you listen to what they're saying, okay? Just most of the average people haven't got it. You actually listen to what they're saying. What they're saying is, I'm worried about potential side effects. I'm worried about, we don't know about the long term. And I'm judging this based, and then I'm also comparing that to the threat posed to me in my own demographic group by COVID. And I'm making a judgment. And that's why I don't want to get the vaccine. Now, you could disagree with that decision. You could say that you think it's a foolish decision or whatever. That's your own personal opinion based on your own priorities. But that's what we're talking about. So how can that be misinformation? It's just someone weighing risks, balancing everything out, and saying, here's how it all shakes out for me personally. Here's the risk level that I'm comfortable with. Here are the risks that I'm worried about, and then these risks over here I'm not as worried about. How can that even be misinformation? It is a matter of personal priority. That's it. Meanwhile, Jen Psaki, kind of on the same theme here, dropped this bomb rather casually. Let's listen.
This is a big issue of misinformation, specifically on the pandemic. In terms of actions, Alex, that we have taken, or we're working to take, I should say, from the federal government, we've increased disinformation research and tracking within the Surgeon General's office. We're flagging problematic posts for Facebook that spread disinformation. We're working with doctors and medical professionals to connect to connected medical experts who are popular with their audiences with accurate information and boost trusted content. So we're helping get trusted content out there.
That's nice of them. They're flagging misinformation for Facebook. Really, really helpful. They're trying to help out. So this is something to keep in mind. And I like how she mentions that like it's no big deal. Nothing controversial about it. Oh yeah, we're doing this with Facebook. We are telling as the White House, as a political entity, we're telling Facebook what qualifies as misinformation or disinformation. And she says that like it's no big deal. Like it's obvious that they would be doing that. And actually it is kind of obvious that they would be doing that. That doesn't make it okay though. But it's something to keep in mind when you hear about how Facebook is nothing but a private company. That's all. No different from the small town baker. And so if you think that the small town baker should be able to bake whatever cake he wants, then Facebook should be able to do whatever they want. Of course, the absurdity of that argument is that the people who make it don't think the baker should be able to bake whatever cake he wants. They think that the decisions made by a baker in Colorado are more significant and carry with them a deeper national and global consequence than the decisions made by these multi-billion-dollar corporations that control the way that people communicate and the ideas that are allowed to be communicated. That's the utter absurdity of it. The same people who make that comparison, oh, you're the one who said they bake whatever the cake they want. Yeah, no, you see, the conflict here, the irrationality, it's on your end. Because it's very easy for me to explain how Facebook is different from a baker. It literally harms no one. If a baker just bakes whatever cake he wants, doesn't want to bake a gay wedding cake, or he'll sell you a cake, but he's not going to cut. That's really what the issue was, right? It's not even we're refusing service to gay couples. It's just we're not going to make a customized cake for this particular event. You can still buy a cake from us and customize it yourself, or you can go to any of the dozens of other bakeries around and get the cake that you want. Now, in that scenario, it harms no one. There is no national consequence whatsoever. What happens when these multi-billion-dollar big tech companies that control the way that billions of people communicate What happens when they have political bias, ideological bias? I would say the consequences are quite a bit more severe. Listen, hit that subscribe button right now. Do it right now. I thank you for your compliance. It is somewhat appreciated.